Um, I'm gonna respond to Eric from Iraq Veteran of his video on the guy named Dexter Taylor, who was a black man from New York City, who you think the Democratic Party would support. Well, support to a degree, you know what I mean? Or pretend to support. Now, I think most of us know what the words I'm gonna be using are, but for the purpose, I always try to start basic. That way, if someone is not caught up, they can catch up. You might have guys that are new to firearms, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Several years ago, there was a press conference and some asshole politician took out a gun. Now, I myself am not that familiar with submachine guns or semi-automatic variants of a subgun. My limitations are grease gun, Tommy gun, and MP5. That's pretty much it. There's probably a million fucking subguns out there, or semi-automatic versions of said, and I'm not that familiar with them. I know a couple, but not much. And if you notice, most militaries and SWAT teams that use them for many, many years have gone to basically a shortened version of the AR rifle. They'll have like an AR with an 8-inch barrel, and they'll be running around like that, like an AR commando type shit, or an AR 9mm, which I guess is a subgun, right? Right? Yeah. Well, he took this gun out, and I don't know what it was myself, I'm not gonna lie. But unlike me, who tries to figure out what the fuck is going on, he says this is a ghost gun. And he goes, blah, 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 blah. You know, this can shoot 30 clips in bullets, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's making fun of him. And there was even a PVC patch of a ghost shooting a machine gun, and it says ghost gun operator. Since then, the word ghost gun has been adopted to describe a totally different item. And that item is the 80% lower receiver. Now, I first heard of the 80% lower receiver myself from a guy in California who had an AR type rifle. And he said, I'll tell you full disclosure, it's mine, it's not registered, blah, blah, blah. You buy an 80% lower receiver. They have the AR type, the Glock type. It is Glock. Glock has lost their patent. I found that out recently. And a lot of companies are making basically Glock ripoffs. Let's be honest about that. So, yeah. And one was the 1911 variant. You buy the lower, by legal definition, the receiver is the gun. If you don't believe me, Barry from Iraq Veteran said it several years ago. Now, this lower receiver is 80% complete. And depending on Glock, 1911, AR, which are completely different things, you get the jigs, the templates, and a lot of times the Dremel tool for the Glock or the drill press for the AR are not included. You gotta buy it yourself, and you basically drill out the holes to complete the other 20%. Now you have a weapon. Now, full disclosure, if you are a prohibited person and you try to buy that, it's a crime because you're a felon trying to possess a firearm. If you order it through the mail, it's using the mail as a vehicle for a crime. And this is 50 state legal. It looks cool, but some guys really fucked it up. They really make there's videos on YouTube where guys are just fucking going too far here, too far there. Next thing you know, this is the fucking Three Stooges did it. And then a couple years later, several states, and Pennsylvania, which is mostly pro-gun, is one of them. Several states have banned the 80% lower officially. I personally believe that is unconstitutional. That's my opinion. And the High Court has said recently in their concealed carry law, you can't just pass a gun law. You gotta explain how it stops crime. But some states right now have banned the AR type lower receiver. So if you live in that state, don't attempt to buy it. And if you go on their websites, and I've been on their websites just for the hell of it, they will tell you point blank, this state, don't even bother. This state will mail it to an FFL. Even a lot of pepper spray items, like the Bill O'Reilly advocates that pepper spray gun, that thing is, Bill O'Reilly is 100% state, 100% legal. Not exactly. My home state tells you order it, have mailed to FFL, the pepper spray gun. Now the 80% lower, some states will tell you no. And when you go on their website, they will tell you flat out, if you live in this state, don't even bother. And this guy in New York City had a bunch of them. Now, where did he get them from? Did he go out of state and buy them at an FFL without a background check and bring them back across state lines? Did he have a friend in another state buy it and mail it to him, and then mail, like your friend in Texas orders it online, they mail it to him, and then he puts it in another box, mail it to you. But he, according to state law, shouldn't have had them. And he was arrested and charged with a bunch of crimes. And the judge said, keep in mind New York City, New York is like fucking Montana once you get past the Bronx. But from Bronx down to the 5 boroughs, you might as well be in fucking Cuba. No joke at all. Look at Trump. Yeah, Mickey Mouse. So the judge and the lawyer tries to make his speeches, his defenses, and the judge says flat out, which is going to be appealed, obviously, the Second Amendment does not exist in my courtroom. There is no Second Amendment in this courtroom. The Second Amendment does not exist. Okay. Doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me at all. Don't forget, the far left today, whether in New York City, California, or whatever, the far left today, they believe in their hearts they can just write out any part of the Constitution they don't like. They believe they can write in any part they like. We like abortion, therefore it's constitutional right. We hate guns, therefore they're not constitutional, okay? But the judge says there is no Second Amendment in my courtroom. Right there, the guy knows he's fucked. And he's convicted of a bunch of felonies, all that shit. Now, I personally, this is my personal opinion, I personally think the 80% is a fad. It is. It's a fad. Okay? You buy your gun and you get it mailed to your house, you make it yourself. That's a fad. And some guys do it, some guys don't, some guys are good, some guys suck. And most of the guns are the AR type, the Glock type, and the 1911 type, which are what? Defensive guns. Now, legally, you can go to FFL and you can buy a factory finished lower receiver for the Glock, for the 1911, for the AR. This is 100% completed, which means by law it's an FFL item. And you can build that up whatever you want. And that is still legal. Now, obviously, if you're in a certain state, you may be required to put a certain stock on, or a certain grip on, or not have this on, or not have that on. Okay, that's going to be restricted by state level. Okay, even in my fucking state, you got to have a rifle license. Now, if you already have a rifle, you're exempt for now. You either have to get a rifle license from the county, or pay $4 and get your handgun license up there for rifles. Okay, for semi-automatic rifles only. Okay, bolt, pump, that's still fine. So I could get my license up there to semi-automatic rifle, go to my FFL, buy the 100% completed AR receiver, do the document, and I can build up whatever I want. I gotta put that forged in stock on, I gotta have this blah 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 bullshit, but I could do it. And even if you can't get a Glock receiver, or a Glock, or a 1911 receiver, you should be able to, but even if you can't, you could buy a Glock, buy a 1911, take it apart, and build that shit up, as long as the receiver is from an FFL. And we had a guy who went out of business a couple years ago. He used to be right down the block from he was in the same building as my FFL. He was a gunsmith. And he would pimp out Glocks, 1911s, and Ruger 1922s. My FFL's son said, "Dad, I want to buy a good Colt." And his father said, go to Felix. and he got it a Colt officer model, and Felix pimped that shit out like a fucking race car and looked like, okay. He mostly used the 9 custom parts, Felix. And then the 1022s, after the piece of shit Safe Act, he had the thermal stock ban and the pistol grip ban. But this guy used to make fucking Ruger 1022s for a $200 rifle. He could pimp it out for to $3,000. Okay, the fucking gun would shoot itself. It was so good. Really good guy, Felix. Shouldn't went out of business anyway. Or Wilson Combat, or Custom, a couple other companies. You can tell them, you can go on their website and pick a gun that you like on the website, have it mailed to FFL, sign for it, and take it home. Or you could go to their website, and Wilson Combat does the AR, the 870, P365, P320, 1911 Glock, and Beretta. And you can pick the gun you want. You can literally get the checklist out and go down the list. Blah, 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 blah. You can mail them your gun, have them pimp it out, or you can just do factory from the blank gun, straight down the line. Now you have a gunsmith who has access to $1 million worth of equipment, and he can pimp it out to the nth degree for the trigger, the sights, the coloring, whatever you want on there. And now you have a defensive gun, and now granted it costs a little more, but you have a defensive gun that you know for a fact came from a guy who was very confident, very competent, and had a lot of access to a lot of equipment. And that's a hell of a lot more reliable than you in your fucking basement with your fucking drill press. Also, the Glock is about $500. By the time you buy the Polymer 80, buy the Dremel tool, get that shit cut all out. Now you gotta buy all the parts separately. You're looking at $700, $800. So you're putting more money into it. That's why it's a fad. You're putting money into it for your little fucking thing. Now, I personally think this guy, Dexter Taylor, should have done that. Because A, it would have been legal, so you wouldn't have to worry about this bullshit. But also, in New York State, you have your handgun license, pistol license, concealed carry, whatever I call it. And on the back, your guns are listed. Your personal guns. They put 6 guns on a card, and then when you buy more guns, you give you a second card. And you have guys with like 4 and 5 fucking cards with like 30 guns on them and shit. He could have went to his FFL, bought a Glock for $500. Okay, take it home, stripped it all down, rebuilt it, and then if he went to the range and the guy said, "What the fuck is that, dude?" If a cop was there, he could have said, "Okay, officer, here's my license, here's the serial number. I bought it from FFL. I just put my own shit on it." Okay, good luck prosecuting that. As long as the magazine is 10 rounds, as long as if, whatever the hell, because there's no fucking silencer on it, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, like I said, I do honestly believe that this was unconstitutional. I do believe that. I also believe that for a judge to say you can't argue the Constitution in my courtroom is also bullshit, because they swear an oath when they become a judge, when they become a lawyer, when they become a judge, their oath is to the Constitution. And for them to be like, I don't like the Constitution. Who the fuck cares? No one asked you what you like. But when you look at it logically, okay, it could take between 5 and 15 years to get this case settled. And in the meantime, you're going to be in prison for a couple of years. In the meantime, you're going to be a felon for every minute of those years. In the meantime, good luck getting a job. In the meantime, no voting, no buying guns. So he could have taken that money, went to Second Amendment Foundation, went to Gun Loves America. I think someone has a lawsuit already about this shit. Okay, and he could talk them into the lawsuit. Okay, and they could have sponsored him. He could have donated the money to the organizations, and they could have used him as a poster child. I want to build my own gun, but I can't because I live in New York City. Just like we had the guy in Chicago, McDonald, who was also black, by the way. Just like we had Heller in D.C. Now, the SAFE Act is 11 years old, and we're nowhere near finishing it. So I would have been like, wait a minute, the SAFE Act took that many fucking years? The concealed carry thing. We had concealed carry in 1911, and you had to suck dick to get a concealed carry license for the longest time. And even now, they're still trying to hold out on it. They're still trying to get around it, but look how long it took from 1911 to 2022. That was 111 fucking years. $111 fucking years. Some of these things take forever. They take 5, 10, 15 years, and a couple go nowhere. We're still trying to get magazine bans restored. We're still trying to get the accessories bans abolished. Okay? We've had some lawsuits or something. We've had policies in effect for decades, and they're still not settled. So I don't know what the fuck this dude was thinking when he either went out of state and got the kit, or had a friend in another state buy it from and mail it to him. But what the fuck was he thinking when he was like, let me build my own gun in New York City? Okay? Because if he had been in any other county in the state, the police commissioner or the sheriff would have said, dude, you bought that illegally. I'm going to close my eyes and count to 10. And if it's destroyed, I'm going to forget I saw it. But New York City, they're the ones saying no Constitution, you do what we say. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you're daring them to fucking get you. You're putting the law in their hands. Okay? There were a couple of legal avenues he could have went through. He could have bought a 100% law receiver. Not AR, because AR is banned in New York City. But he could have bought a 100% law receiver from FFL. And he could have pimped it out as much as he wanted to. Okay? So long as the receiver came from an FFL, no one would have fucked him legally. But it's almost like you dare him to fucking do it. I don't know what to tell you. Do I think the law is unconstitutional? Yeah, I do. Do I think that this guy's a threat to society? No, I don't. But it's just crazy that you would put the law in there. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? Go to SAF. Go to Gun Owners of America. Okay? Go to these organizations and tell them, I have a really good idea for a lawsuit. 9 out of 10 times, the lawsuit's already done. They already got it filed. All they got to do is put you on the lawsuit as a poster child. Okay? Why would you do this to yourself? Because now you're a felon. Now it's going to take 15 years to sell this shit. You're losing years of your life. Good luck getting a job now. I mean, Rosa Parks, let's talk about Rosa Parks for a minute, okay? Rosa Parks was obeying the law. The bastard that arrested her was just obeying it. Because the Constitution said Rosa Parks was an equal citizen under the law and was entitled to all rights therein. Now, yes, the Constitution says you have the right to keep and bear arms. And yes, the Supreme Court said that the state cannot pass a law without a good reason and explanation, which is a good thing. But because every single fucking Democratic governor, mayor, what have you, is dicing up every piece of those rulings as much as they can go. I mean, I think a prime example. Justice Scalia said that when he did the Heller decision, he talked about felons and guns and the mentally ill and guns in school buildings and guns in government buildings. He said, this doesn't apply to that yet. This is not talking about that. And in the SAFE Act, every other line is quoting him. Well, we can put in provisions. We can make our own decisions. We can determine our own things. Okay? The most brilliant justice in the history of our country. His line was taken out of context and weaponized against the people. Okay? The fucking Democratic Party, the fucking Democratic Party, they literally say, shall not be infringed, and they interpret that to be, well, we can pass common sense, which obviously is bullshit. I mean, that's what I don't get. Why would you dare them to come after you? I mean, let's look at the Loving case. Mr. and Mrs. Loving were black and white, and they lived in Virginia, and they went to D.C. and got married, and came back to Virginia, and were arrested in bed for violating the race laws. They were threatened with 15 years in prison, convicted of a felony, and the judge said, we'll suspend the sentence, which means you go home today, but if you come back and they stay together, you're going to prison. She got pregnant. She came back in her brother's car. He came back in his own car. They had the baby in her mother's house in Virginia. The police arrested them while she was in bed with the baby. And she went to the NAACP, which is a good organization back then. And they basically said, we misunderstood your ruling, Your Honor. We didn't know we could be in separate cars. And they got one more chance. But the judge said, if I catch you again, you're going to prison for 15 years. You will go to prison for 15 years if I catch you again. Went back to D.C. She goes to NAACP. The lawyer said, go back on purpose and dare them to arrest you, and I'll bail you out. Mr. Loving said, fuck that. I'm not doing 15 years in prison. I got babies to feed. Because by now they had a couple of kids. The kids were maybe preschool age. Okay, Mr. Loving said point blank, I'm not fucking going to prison. Because that judge told me he'll put me in prison for 15 years. And my wife too. And my kids will be with their grandparents or orphans or some shit. So I'm not doing it. And then the judge gave a fucking harangue. The judge found out about it. The judge found out they were going to NAACP somehow. And the judge made a public statement about how the Bible says this is a sin, and the Bible, blah, 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 blah. And the lawyer said, good news. Outstanding news. The statute of limitations had expired. That's why I told you to get arrested on purpose. To reopen a new statute. But because this judge opened his big fucking mouth, blah, 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 I don't need you to be arrested. Because the judge opened his mouth, he eliminated the statute of limitations. Because the judge was a racist. It was like, white and black, race mixing is a sin, it's a crime against God. Okay, he made a real nasty speech. And that real nasty speech opened up the gate. And the lawyer said, I can sue him without you getting arrested. And Mr. and Mrs. Loving went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court overturned their conviction, cleared their record, restored their rights, recognized their marriage, and every single interrace marriage law in the country was abolished. So there was another way. Rather than go to prison for 15, because if they went back to that state together and got arrested on purpose, they would have got 15 years in prison. Now, obviously, they would have got out of prison. Obviously, they would have had their conviction overturned. Obviously, they would have been fine. But for that couple of years, their kids would have been living with the grandparents, living in an orphanage. Okay, they found another way. You think that the law about the 80% lower receiver is unconstitutional. I agree with you. But there was another way to start the conversation without getting yourself in trouble like this. Thank you.